Okay, this video is about the very simple process of doing an I-cord. I've talked about this before in videos, and I've used it, and I've probably shown you how to do it with different projects, but I wanted to have a video specific to it, so in case somebody is just looking for the I-cord method, they can find it. So I'm just using the red loom. You can use any size loom you want. Pretty much probably I don't think it really matters what size you use. I'm just doing this because of the video. It's easier for you to see. I'm using this yarn. It's very thin. You could do a double strand if you wanted. You could use a bulkier yarn, obviously. This is just because it will contrast with my loom pretty well. So you do your regular slip knot. And like I said, this is a very simple process. And you put it on one of the pegs. You're only going to be using 3 pegs. So that's what makes it good. And a very simple, easy project is something you can hand to your kids and say, hey, mommy needs, mommy, auntie, sister, whoever you are, mommy needs an I-cord, when you make one up. So this is something I could have my daughter do when she's a little older and a little more into it. So you just drop the tail in the back, like that, and all you're going to do is you're going to wrap 2 more pegs. You got this peg, then you're just going to wrap another, and then you're just going to bring your yarn to the front and lay it right over those and knit over. And I lost my tool. There we go. So 1, 2, oops. This yarn is a little fraying a little bit, so it makes it look like it's difficult. Okay, once you got the first one in, you're going to take your yarn, and because this is behind it, you're just going to go behind it, and then in front of it, and knit that over again. And this works up pretty quick once you get going. It's very simple. And after you do a few stitches, you can tug the strand, but that's all you're doing, is you're taking it behind the pegs, and then in front of the pegs, and then you're knitting over. It's a very simple process. It works up fairly fast. You can use this to make, like when I did my snowman, this was what I used to make the scarf. Then I added tassels to the end of it. If you make it long enough and with more of a heat-resistant type yarn, I believe cotton or something, you can kind of wind it up a little bit in a circle and use it like a pot holder, or I don't know what they call them exactly. So you can set something hot on it, basically. So I'm just going to keep doing that. It's just you're working the yarn from back to front, basically. And you just knit it over. And as you can see, it's working out pretty fast just sitting here doing it. Like I said, so I mean, I'm behind the yarn, in front of the yarn, or front of the pegs. Sorry, and then you're knitting over. And then you can, and you can just give this a little tug, not a huge tug. Like I said, it'll work up a little different depending on the yarn, obviously. I'm just going to do enough so I can show you how to take it off. But if you sit here and you do this for a couple minutes without talking, like I'm doing, you can work it up pretty quick and use it for, this as a scarf. You could add beads while you're doing this. If you want to add beads to this, what you would do is you have your beads already on the yarn before you start. And then what you do, is when you're like this, you would place your beads in the spot and then bring it around the front and then knit over so it kind of locks them in place. And I've done this before with jewelry. Kind of makes nice, like, if you want to do like a choker and have it be yarn, you can kind of do this, but you'd have to figure out the length. So usually the best thing to do is try to measure out how long you might want to do. But that's all how it's working out pretty quick, because this is the I-cord stitch. It's kind of flat, so when it kind of makes it kind of cool. I'm just going to do a couple more, then I'll show you how to take this off, and we'll be all done. Very simple process. You'll actually almost get addicted sometimes to doing this. Like, I would love to take my scrap yarn, and I'm actually thinking about making a couple of I-cord ropes with my scrap yarn just to see how the different colors will work together, and then use it for some other project. I don't know if this will work well on a tree unless you used, again, something that was a little more heat resistant. Excuse me. I messed up that one. Because you could almost do it on a mini little tree for somebody. Okay, so that's how it's worked up. Like I said, it works up pretty fast. I mean, to give you an idea, it works up pretty fast. That's how much we got. So when you're ready to take this off, it's fairly simple. All you're going to do is you're going to end up wanting to have it on one peg. So we're going to take the loop from here, and we're going to place it on the middle loop. Or middle peg, sorry. So place it on there, and then you knit over. Then you're going to take this loop, move it over to the middle peg, and then you're going to knit over. Now when you're ready to take it off completely, you're going to cut yourself the yarn, like that. And then you're going to, if you need to, you can grab your crochet hook. It's not like totally necessary, but you can, use it if you want. You're going to take it off the peg, stick it on your crochet hook, and bring the strand basically through the hole and pull it tight. And there is your I-cord. And like I said, you can use this for different projects. You can put beads on it, make it a bracelet. You can leave it just like this if you wanted, and tie it on so that it could be a cute little bracelet. You can use it as a scarf for a little snowman if you've done that video of mine. You can make one really long, and what I mean by rolling it is because it's usually a little more flatter than it's showing up here. It depends on the yarn. It might work up differently. But if you wind it, and it has to be really long, but if you wound it around itself, so it'll be flat like that, and you had a big one, then what you can do is you can sew the loops together enough so that this would be flat and almost be like a little mini poster or something like that. So that's what I meant by that. But that's a quick, simple I-cord method, so you can use it for different things, and I hope you enjoyed it.